We are live. Welcome to Stoney the Real Deal. I am Jeffrey Stone. This is a place where you can envision your future being an entrepreneur by me talking to actual entrepreneurs who've been in the industry for a while. Today, I have with me a really, really great friend. He has been owning his business for the last 24 years. Freeway Building Materials in Perris, California. If you're ever heading down the 215 going south or north, you'll see it right there close to, it goes from Moreno Valley down to Menifee. Harley Knox Boulevard. There you go. So I'm going to talk to Shane today so you guys can figure out a little bit more about, his life, because this is a guy who's actually opened a business from scratch in 1998. In May of 98. And here it is, 2021, some 23 years later, and he's still in business. So, guys, this is one of those success stories that a guy's been around for a while. I've seen him go up and down. So I've seen him through the good, the bad. And we're even going to talk to him a little bit about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Shane talk for a little bit, introduce himself, tell you a little bit about his company, and then we're going to ask him questions about his daily life and, why he got started and why he's doing what he's doing. All right?
Yeah.
Shane?
My name's Shane. I'm really happy to be here with Jeff.
Thank you.
Known him since, I think, 2000. He came into my store to buy some stuff, and for some reason we hit it off. I don't know why, but
Navy, Marine.
Navy,
it's like having an Uber driver.
So anyways, I kind of was forced into my business a little bit. It was either open a business or go to work for somebody else. And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to try it out on my own. I had an opportunity to buy some, the tractors and all the equipment. First off, what I do is I sell building materials. I sell anything for hardscape, like pavers, rock, sand, gravel, block wall material, anything to beautify the outside of the home and the inside. I sell flagstone also. So anything to do with hardscape, concrete coloring, that kind of thing. But in 1998, we were going through some dire straits at the place I worked for, and they were closing their doors. So I had an opportunity to purchase the tractor and one of the trailers and the forklift and all that. So he gave me that opportunity to do that. I found a piece of property and went down to the city clerk's office. I didn't know how to open a business. that was something. And I walked in the door, and there was the information kiosk. And I walked up to the guy and I said, "Hey, I'd like to open a business. How do I do it?" And he walked me through it. It was really, really kind of easy once I got started. Then had to go to the state, get my reseller's permit, that kind of thing. And the rest is history, so to speak. Oh, and then I had to get a conditional use permit from the city to have a yard that was open to the public. So that's it in the 22nd version. But after that, it's been, like I said, like Jeff said, 23 years, and we've had our ups and our downs, and we're still hanging in there. So.
Well, pretty impressive. So as I said, I want you guys to know that he is probably the best guy in the world. I mean, he is the godfather of my son and my daughter. So I have one older daughter, but unfortunately, he didn't know me at that time.
For some reason, he wants them both to go to Harvard. I don't understand this,
Harvard
or
Kentucky,
Stanford,
Kentucky, Stanford, Illinois. So not those.
Thanks. I don't know if I should thank him or
But Shane, I mean, a lot of people out there want to open a business, and so I want them to know what it's like. I mean, tell them. I mean, you always hear the good things. You see Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, and God bless them for everything that they've done and created. But how about you? I mean, are you a Jeff Bezos? Are you Elon Musk?
No, I'm struggling all the time. And first off, I'd say go to your psychiatrist and check with them first, because you're in for quite a ride. It's not all just easy street. Once you get in there, it's not everybody doing everything for you. It's quite the opposite. When you're a small guy like me, you end up doing most everything yourself. And, during the tough times, when you're in a recession or times are tight, you don't have customers or product on the ground, you find yourself up at 3 a.m. looking at the ceiling, wondering how you're going to do it. But that's the negative. The positive is when you do put your nose to the grindstone, so to speak, and you push through, you realize that that's just a moment in time. And if you just continue on, keep pushing, keep going, that things turn. Things always change. And as long as you have a good attitude, and I got to say, the only thing that we at Freeway have ever had was customer service. That was it. And my relationship with my customers, and that's what kept us going through all these hard times. And now that we've got good times, it's even better because word of mouth travels. So
is that how you market? Word of mouth?
Word of mouth. Plus, our location is right next to a freeway. So hence the name Freeway. And
how'd you get that name?
Yeah, it was really tough. That's called the one-day name search. Yeah, and funny story. The reason I chose Freeway Building Materials is the company that I bought the materials, all the supplies and the hoppers and everything for. They had FBM on the hoppers, so I thought it's got to have a name with FBM in it. So I thought Freeway Building Materials, perfect. Brilliant. It's perfect. So there it is.
So I've known, like I said, I've known Shane for 20 years. He's correct. I went into his shop. I was trying to buy I was trying to do some kind of retaining wall in my backyard, I believe.
I think, yeah. Or pavers,
And it just turned out that we hit it off. We had a great chemistry. We became really best friends. And we've known each other ever since. But the interesting thing is I've seen Shane what's the max number of employees you think you've ever had working for you?
14.
14 people. 14.
And 2 trucks running full time and 4 forklifts and a tractor and then a spare tractor.
So I want these people to understand some negative things. Guys, I'm not trying to scare you not to be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of benefits to being an entrepreneur. I want them to understand some bad things. So I knew Shane during 2007 and 8, and I want him to tell you a little bit about. He told you he had 14 people at one point. What happened in 2007 and 8 for you? Because that was the housing crash, if you guys remember. So the housing prices just dove, just a nosedive.
Right. Well, little something, you open a business and you get through the first couple years, and these credit card companies start thinking you are great. So they start sending you all these credit cards, and you start using them. And next thing you know, you've got, I think I had 43 credit cards.
Woo!
And I was maxing them and just going on trips, doing whatever I could. I thought, hey, this is great. I love being in business. Well, then 2007-8 came, and all of a sudden the phone stopped ringing and people started holding on to their money for, that food and stuff like that. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
They call it necessity.
Get some Hardscape film.
Right.
So anyways, I went from 14 employees down to 2 plus myself to run everything. I gave one of the trucks back to the leasing company and sold the trailer and the forklift and struggled through it. And many times during that time, I thought I should have filed BK, but I didn't, because
which is really awesome.
It's awesome, but at the same time, you look back on things like that and you're like, man, it would have made life so much easier. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I worked through it and paid off people and got, finally I'm getting back a lot of trust in the industry on that. But you go through really tough times sometimes, and you got to be ready for those things. And the reason I bring that up is because it always happens. You open a company up. So these credit card companies, they throw all this money at you, or they give you a line of credit. Right.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I got all this spare money. Well, then the bottom falls out of the economy,
Right.
and you're like, how do I pay it all back? And now you're really hurting. So if I can offer any advice on that, don't go nuts right off the bat. Pay cash for everything if you can.
That's actually a great thing to tell people. I mean, you're thinking about starting your own business. You're thinking, okay, first you got to know what you want to do. I mean, Shane kind of, like he said, he was kind of forced into it. Myself, I kind of just chose something. But when you get, okay, so that's the first thing you do. I always say there's about 10 rules that I tell people to ask themselves before they get started. And so you're a married man. I know your wife, great woman, love her to death. So did you talk to Carol before you got started and say, hey, Carol, I'm going to go do my own thing? Or
I told her the situation, and I'm fortunate I have a very supportive wife, and she believes in me. But there were times when we first started. A little history on me. I've got 27 years of sobriety.
Ching-ching.
Yeah, ching. And when I got into this company, we were still going to, meetings every night and going through it. And so it was a very stressful time for her. And even though she didn't tell me, I know that it was. And just being able to support and trust me to make the right decisions for our livelihood. And so I'm very fortunate that I have a very supportive wife, and that's super important because, in the end, your mate needs to be happy. You need to be happy. Otherwise the thing goes to heck. But,
so, and I'm going to go to a sidebar for a second, because Shane's known me, like I said, for a long time, and he knows my first wife, my son's mom. And I think that was one of our issues. I mean, I just told her, hey, I'm going to start a business. And then, 3-4 years into it,
she didn't trust you.
We lost all that. And unfortunately that transpired. But I think that's one of the things I tell people. The second thing you got to do is you got to talk to your significant other. The third thing I got to ask is, how did you financially plan for this? I mean, did you sit down and say, okay, you didn't have this massive business plan.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do? How did you say, okay, hon, we got to pay all these bills. We're going to pay our personal expenses. We got to pay the business expenses.
Honestly, I was thrown into it, and we took our one credit card that we had and we maxed it. It had a $10,000 limit on it, maxed it to buy materials to get started.
Wow.
And, our first month, I'll never forget it. We did 23,000 in sales,
but you only start with 10 grand. So you must have a heck of a profit margin.
But no, there's no profit there. But I was so proud of that because I had actually made that,
right?
That we had sold that money and sold that product and made that money. So that feeling of pride was something that I'll never forget. Now we do much better than that, thank goodness.
Right.
But no, we didn't have a very written out, set of parameters, which, if I could go back in time, I would definitely take an economics course and a accounting course. Hence my best friend. He's an accountant, and that's how we met and how we started talking. I said, man, I need help because I really am lacking when it comes to the tax side of things and all that. I'm more of a salesman and more of a how to do it, kind of guy. And I get out there and I'll load the customers and whatever I have to do, but.
Well, I like you telling people the facts. I mean, the truth is he said something a few minutes ago, which is when you get started, you got to understand there's going to be multiple hats. So you've ever heard their saying says guys wear more than one hat. When you got started,
Technicolor, salesman,
everything.
And a little sidebar, the building I was in did not have windows or a front door. So I was sleeping down there every night. And because the yard was completely open and it was an old gas station that we moved into. And so I was sleeping down there. I would put 2 of my big hoppers that I used to dump sand out of in front of the door for security. And then there was bars without the windows. So very loud being next to a freeway. And I would I would pump up a little air mattress every night. I'd say goodbye to my wife at 9 o'clock and go down and sleep, because I didn't have a fence, so I was getting ripped off every night. People would roll in there and
Take
help themselves to whatever's not bolted down. And even then it's maybe, but
it's still awesome. I mean, because now so I want to jump to now. I mean, 23 years later, dude, I mean, you're still in business.
Yeah.
You're still doing well.
I made it.
I mean, are you a millionaire? Are you a multimillionaire yet?
No.
Okay.
No, not even close.
So, I mean, what inspires you to keep going? I mean, why stick with this? Why not say, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm not financially a millionaire. So why did you get into business for yourself? I mean, what was your thought? Why do it?
Well, I like the opportunity to work for myself and to succeed.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a really gratifying feeling. In the end, to know that you're making money, you're paying your bills, you're providing for your family, and the hope of a better life for the future is always possible. It just depends on how much you put into it and how much hard work. And sometimes you got to work really, 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 really hard, and you still feel like you're on the treadmill, but at least you have the opportunity to make more money because you're working for yourself and you can change things. Whereas I think if you're working for somebody else, you're kind of stuck. You're waiting for them to say, okay, you get a raise or whatever. Me, I can take off any day I want. I don't. I tend to work harder now. I don't know why. It's kind of going backwards, but it's just, I enjoy it. Yeah, the stress is there, but stress is everywhere, even if you're working for somebody.
Does it take a certain kind of personality? I mean, like
crazy.
Ching ching,
totally nuts.
I'm there. So I mean, that's a good point, because I ask people all the time. I mean, is there a certain personality, a person that's going to be a better entrepreneur than another person?
I can't answer that. I look at myself. I have a high school education, some college, no accounting background, but I've learned as I went, and I'm not afraid to go and sit down with somebody in work clothes or dirty clothes and listen and learn. And you've always got to be open-minded to listen to somebody out that's got a better idea, or listen to them anyways, even if you've tried that idea and it doesn't work.
Right.
I've had a lot of people, oh, you should do this. And it's always the new employees, I noticed, that tell me how to run things better. Now, some of them have some good ideas.
Right. And
so I try and incorporate it, but others, no, they just want to control things. And there's only one chief, and it's got to be that way, and it's got to fall on one person. But
it's funny, because when you were sitting here a few minutes ago, I interviewed Weena Powell last week. She owns an HR company, and it was funny because when she walks in, she's still texting and doing work. And just a few minutes ago, I see you on the phone. So, guys, I'm telling you, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again this week, is that when you think because you own your own business, you don't have a boss, you do. They're called your customers. They become your bosses. Shane today is letting me interview him, but he is my boss. When he wants something, he just brought me a stack of papers. No
yes.
So
it's only
like that thick. Okay. But Shane, I only keep this about 23 minutes.
No.
If you were going to give some advice to somebody out there and say, what is the number one thing you enjoy about owning your own business? Now, we talked about the negatives, you struggled, but you're still 24 years into this thing. In my eyes, you're successful. In your eyes, do you think you're successful?
Yes, definitely. I've been through a lot, and we've survived it. I'm sober. That's most important to me today.
He's giving me a coin. He gives me a coin, which is really awesome.
So along with the sobriety, the fact that I'm still with my same wife that I started the business with. Unbelievable. I'm very, very patient. Very patient. Okay. I'm
I
just
think
saying.
Carol
And
would
I think
disagree.
she is watching. Okay. And she knows. She knows I'm right. That's why we get along now. I may not be able to go home after this.
You might have to stay here for a while.
But in all seriousness, what keeps me going back is my family, and the fact that I want to keep providing, have a future for ourselves and a retirement eventually, and possibly give this to my kids and let it continue to grow. And who knows, they may expand it even more. And
One last thing.
that's it.
What do you enjoy the most about owning your own business? For me, I think you hit it when you said, I can take off whenever I want.
True.
Mhm.
True. That is good to be able to make your own
Schedule.
your own schedule,
Yeah.
and that is excellent. And it's freedom. There's freedom, but then you're still locked into it.
Yeah. Guys, I hope you liked this interview. I would love it if you could just click that like button and subscribe to Stony the Real Deal. Watch me interview even more entrepreneurs, learn from them so that you don't make the mistakes that they made as well. Learn why they became entrepreneurs. Do you have what it takes? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Watch some more videos. You can do it right there. You can do it. Guys, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you again. On Friday, I will be doing a podcast, realistically, just about me. Why am I doing this? And my story. So hopefully I'll try to keep it to 23 minutes. Okay. Shane, thanks, brother. Hey, guys, look below Freeway Building Materials. I put all of his contact information in there. Shane, can you give it to him real quick? Give him your contact information, like where you located?
We're in Perris, California, located at 1569 Nandina Avenue in Perris. And you can go online, freewaybldgmat at AOL.com, and ask questions, figure out what you need for your yard. We estimate too. So
there you go.
Take
Guys,
care.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. We enjoy all of our subscribers.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was easy.